Access to adequate living standards is a basic human right. But this has been difficult to achieve, especially for urban poor communities living in developing countries like the Philippines. 21.6% of the population live under the poverty line. In 2010, a government report estimated that 23.5% of Metro Manila's total population were informal settlers. 18.6% of these reside in areas classified as danger zones such as railroad track, transmission lines, garbage dumps, and waterways. The Philippine government has long been trying to address these issues. Together with support institutions, new strategies are being developed and implemented in creating inclusive cities. One non-governmental institution promoting the concept of citywide community-led upgrading is the Homeless People's Federation Philippines Incorporated. The Federation is a grassroots organization composed of urban poor communities. They work with 4 other institutions: the Philippine Action for Community-Led Shelter Initiatives Incorporated, PACSII, Technical Assistance Movement for People and Environment Incorporated, TAMPEI, LinkBuild Incorporated, and Community Resources for the Advancement of Capable Societies, CoReACS. Together, they form the Philippine Alliance. The Philippine Alliance is at the forefront of the citywide initiatives that build on the knowledge and capacities of the urban poor. One of its core initiatives is citywide community mapping, a process in housing by people. It aims to create learning and understanding of both physical and social aspects of communities, support agencies, and government units. As a community-led process, mapping moves and empowers members of the community as key actors of their own development. The Philippine Alliance implements and promotes mapping in cities with varying contexts across the country. Mapping is generally anchored on 5 basic strategies. First, building initial commitments such as signing of Memorandum of Agreement, courtesy calls to barangay officials, and general assemblies with association leaders. This strategy establishes strong legal foundation at the association, barangay, city, and even at the national and international levels. Second, transfer of knowledge to communities. By training core teams on basic mapping concepts and processes, the Alliance not only capacitates communities in doing mapping on their own, but also ensures sustainability of the whole process. Third, information gathering. Community members work hand in hand with the Alliance and other stakeholders in using various data gathering tools such as base maps, GPS devices, and scaling for spatial data, household survey forms, and settlements profiling for statistical and demographic data, interviews and focused groups discussions for historical and narrative data. Fourth, validation and information management. All data gathered are then verified by community members themselves. Tools like situational analysis matrix and quadrant system for prioritization are used in checking the accuracy of mapping results, in identifying needs, and in allocating resources to address community issues. Fifth, mobilization and follow-up. With data at hand, it becomes easier for communities to mobilize and come up with contextualized solutions to their own problems. Often, mapping leads to upgrading projects like concreting of pathwalks and stabilization of water and power connections. It also allows communities to negotiate with landowners and related agencies by presenting documents showing their capacities to acquire land.
Community mapping process, but it's a very simple gathering of the data, information, population, like whole demographic information of the community. It doesn't have really a one template for every community because they are very different to each other. It depends on how the community responds and how the community open to the process.
However, with all these strategies, tools, and documents, data management, especially in the case of communities, sometimes becomes inefficient. In 2015, the Alliance adopted the Social Tenure Domain Model, or STDM, a pro-poor, gender-sensitive, participatory land information recording tool as database for all its mapping activities. Aligned with the Alliance's objectives, STDM's participatory nature makes it easy for communities to encode, manage, and use their own data. The introduction of STDM has helped the Alliance in its mapping activities. Together, these tools has created impacts in people's lives.
Pagbabasehan kasi dati yung nagiging buhay ko as individual o yung hindi pa talaga walang responsibility na nakaatang sa akin, mas medyo happy lang. Yung parang wala lang, walang ano lang, tambay dito, tambay doon, routine sa bahay, routine sa mga anak, nag-election ng mga bagong samahan and officer na hindi ko na-expect na makuha ako as vice. So, ginagawa ko lahat ng aking trabaho bilang vice, as vice president para lang po matulungan yung aking president. Kahit gaano kahirap, kahit gaano kapagod yung ginagawa namin. As long as nakakatulong kami sa mga kapitbahay o sa mga miyembro ng aming samahan, gagawin po namin.
In mapping, we had challenges. People would tend to misunderstood. And they always have this misconception that after mapping, there will be devolution. So that's why we have to work on it and we maximize the sense of community. That's the first approach we did. Because sense of community in the Philippines is very strong. So there is trust in community members. Second, we keep on building the trust level, okay, between the government and the people. And third, whatever we did, we're making sure that it's participatory. There should be sense of ownership, so that more cooperation, more assistance will be expected from them, and more successful will be the output of the project.
For the city, and yeah, I think for the LGU, it's mapping is very important in terms of also identifying the different projects that they need to prioritize for these communities, and for them to also identify what type of project or assistance that they need to prioritize for provide fundings for, because sometimes LGUs doesn't have any idea of the exact issue of a certain community. So the tendency for them is to just provide anything that they can for these communities, but it's not like what the communities actually needs.
People should do it because they need it, not people should do it because they'll be receiving an allowance from the city. Once they understand the purpose of doing such activity, voluntarily they would really put themselves into the process, into the activity.